Over the course of his decade-long career, our next guest has sold more than 10 million albums, written from everyone from Beyonce to Celine Dion, and he's won several Grammys.
And today he's here to discuss his life in music, his acting career, his business ventures, and his new charity. Neo, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Welcome.
Okay, so Neo, how many jobs do you have?
Right.
My goodness, you're a singer, a songwriter, an entrepreneur, an executive, a philanthropist.
A dad.
And apparently a saint.
And a saint.
I do what I can.
How do you juggle it all?
Well, you know what? My motto is as much as you can for as long as you can. You know, you got to keep, with every opportunity that's placed in front of you, you got to take advantage. You have to.
Okay, so let's talk about your latest gig. Now, last year you were named Senior VP of A&R for Motown. What exactly do you do? What does that mean? And
I am a glorified talent scout, basically.
A glorified talent scout.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. No, it's my job to bring new talent into the label, and you know, then add my touch to the artist development and whatnot. So, yeah.
So
pretty cool gig.
What do you look for in an artist? How do you know when you found that someone who can become the next Neo or the next Beyonce or Celine Dion?
Voice.
Well, you never know. You never know what that's going to be. You know, there's people who have been doing this for years and years and years who will tell you there's no real way to know. You don't know what's going to move the people. But the one thing I always look for is passion. You know, you have to be doing this for more than just the desire to be famous or the desire to make some money. Like there's so many other things you can do to be famous and make money. You can get on YouTube and do something stupid, you'll be famous. You know, music should be something that you do because you love it. That's what I'm always looking for. And you can always tell. You can always tell.
Well, it seems like you love movies, too, because we've been seeing you acting lately, everything from Red Tails to Stomp the Yard to Battle Los Angeles.
Yeah.
What has that transition been like from you going from music to film?
It actually wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's definitely, you know, acting is not something you can't just wake up one day and go, all right, I'm being an actor today. You know, it's definitely something that requires some skill and some training.
Well, we're looking at a clip and pictures here from Red Tails,
Yeah.
which chronicles the life of the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah,
Everyone doesn't get to work.
Time.
I know, and you worked with George Lucas of all people. I mean, what did you learn about acting? What tips was he giving you during the filming?
George is a man of very few words. I would say that. You know, he's not a person that's going to talk just for the sake of talking. And when he does talk, all ears shoot to George because he doesn't do it a lot. You know, so when he says something, it's always something very, very important. But it wasn't really George that was doing the helping in regard to the acting. It was the other actors. It was everybody around, which was refreshing to me because I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna go in and they're gonna be like, okay, who's this R&B dude taking jobs? Here we go, R&B dude trying to act. But no, they embraced me, and any question I had, they had an answer for it. And they don't try it like this, try it like that. And the one thing that kept coming up, they said, you never want to look like you're acting. Like there's acting.
Well, how do you not
being.
look like you're acting if you're acting?
You have to become it. You have to. If the role calls for you to be upset, you have to really get upset. You can't pretend to be upset because the camera can see that.
So what did you channel for that role? Because you had an accent and everything. You really turned it on.
Yeah, Smokey. Yeah, that was the name of my character in the film. Smokey is from Alabama. I am from Arkansas. So it wasn't too difficult to put it together. All I had to do basically was call home and talk to some of my uncles and aunts and you know pick the accent back up, and I was right there. That's all it took, really.
Right.
So how has the film world influenced your music career and vice versa? Because they seem to complement one another.
To a degree. They are definitely two different worlds. You know, the biggest difference being that music is very. You know, it's instant. You know, you go in the studio, you cut it, you listen to it, gratification, done. Movies, put it to you this way. We didn't see Red Tails until 2 years after we shot it.
You're kidding.
2 years it took for them to get the movie all the way right and, you know, all the red tape and all the behind the scenes stuff. 2 years later, the movie comes out and you go, oh, wait, that wasn't it. It becomes that.
You're like, I did shoot
It's very
that
different from being on
24
stage.
months ago.
Getting that immediate gratification.
It's the second you step out there, the song starts, they know it, they applaud. You feel it right away, you know, and that's I've kind of gotten spoiled, you know. I'm sitting on set, and there's days where you know they're working with other people, so you're kind of just sitting around, just waiting your turn, and it's like hours go by, and it's like you know how many songs I could have wrote by now.
They say the film industry is all about hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. Yep. So you were born in Arkansas, you mentioned earlier,
yes.
but you were raised in Las Vegas?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay, so who grows up in Las Vegas?
Right.
And what's it like growing up in Sin City? I mean, you're a kid in Sin City?
Honestly, not as exciting as it sounds, to be honest with you.
Really?
I mean, what people don't understand is that Las Vegas is a city, right? And the Strip is one street that runs down the center of the whole of Las Vegas. So you watch TV and all they ever show you is the Strip, so you automatically assume that the whole city is the Strip. It's not the case. The Strip is one street. The rest of the city is pretty much like any other city that you would go to. There's houses and hospitals and schools, and it's honestly a little boring. Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not boring on December 7th because that's actually Neo Day in
Yeah.
Las Vegas. But what happens on Neo Day? Is like everybody partying in the streets, only Neo on the radio? What?
I don't know. I haven't been in Vegas for a Neo Day since it became Neo Day, so I don't know what happens. I wouldn't recommend not going to work or school on Neo Day.
Not a national holiday?
No, I wouldn't recommend that.
Okay, not
Call
yet.
me like, Neo, you got me fired because I ain't going to work on your day. You know me? Nah, bruh. Nah, don't do that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Not Neo's fault.
Right, not at all. Well, let's back up and talk about your music career a little bit more in depth.
All
Like,
right.
when did you first know that you really wanted to do music for the rest of your life? Because did you come from a music family?
Kinda. Everybody in my family does something in regard to music.
Okay.
Not everybody really had the dreams and aspirations to do anything with it. You know, my mom did for a second, my dad did for a second, but you know, just other things took the reins. For me, it was 9 years old. I didn't want to be a fireman. I didn't want to be a policeman. I wanted to do music. I didn't know if it was going to be writing or singing or producing or whatever. I just knew it was going to be music. And I can honestly say from 9 on up to this handsome and virile 33, I never wanted anything else.
Handsome and virile.
Hey,
Yep,
hey.
you got that right.
Ain't nobody gonna love me like me then.
Well, you've actually said you were annoyingly optimistic about the situation. When everyone's like, "Oh, give it up, don't go after it," you're like, "I'm doing it."
Got to. You have to look at all turmoil as temporary. You
Well, what
know?
kind of turmoil did you have to go through until it
Oh,
break through?
come on, brother. It's all of the comparisons to people that are already there. You know, if you're young and at the time that I was trying to do it, if you were young and black, you were instantly compared to Usher, and you weren't as good as him, so you shouldn't do it. You're not going to be as good as him, so you should stop. Countless times I heard that. You know, even after I got my deal, I was still hearing that from certain people. You know, but you can't let anything or anyone stop you if you know that it's for you, and that's what it was for me. I knew that this is where I was supposed to be. So, you know, every no, I don't like that song, or no, that's not good enough, or no, you don't sing well, or whatever the case. It was all temporary. It's like, okay, you don't get it yet. Keep watching.
But how do you
watching.
persevere when you're constantly having doors shut in your face in that way?
You have to know. You have to know through and through that this is for me, and it's going to take people a minute to get it, but when they get it, they're going to love it. Prince was getting booed off stage for 2 years of his career for doing the exact same thing that made him an icon. The exact same thing. And the frillies and the whole thing, they didn't get it at first. They was like, no, you're a man. What are you doing? They did not like it 2 years straight.
Wow.
He kept going, and now he's Purple Majesty.
Right.
You know, that's what it takes.
Well, speaking of majesty, you're often compared to Michael Jackson. What's it feel
May he
like to
rest.
be, spoken in the same breath of someone of that caliber, too? And did you ever had a chance to collaborate with him?
I did. I
Okay.
did. First and foremost, I'm not, nor will I ever be worthy of my name being put next to his in any way, shape, form, or fashion. That's just how I feel. It's never going to be. I got the opportunity to work with him. We were supposed to record some records. His untimely passing, we didn't get the opportunity to get in studio. But it was a good 2-3 week period where I was actually talking to Mike on the phone just about every other day. I would submit songs to him, and then he would critique the songs and tell me which ones he wanted to do. So he had picked about six songs, 6 definite songs that he wanted to record. And after the This Is It tour, we were supposed to go in. Of course, he passed before we got the opportunity, so. You know.
What did it feel like meeting with him and him telling you that he actually has a favorite Neo song?
I think that's the most I've ever felt like a 16-year-old girl in life. That's the
Like a
most-
16-year-old girl?
Yeah.
Did you just squeal?
Yeah, I held my squeal in. You know, I didn't want Mike looking at me crazy. I held my squeal in. But of course, when I got somewhere where nobody could see or hear me, I went ahead and squealed right quick. I did.
And that song was Go On
I'll admit
Girl.
it.
That's
Yes,
your favorite.
Go On Girl was Michael Jackson's favorite Neo song.
Well, we got so much more to talk about with your favorite songs and what
Yeah.
else is coming in music with you. So stay right here. You stay right here. We'll be back with more Neo right after this.
More Neo.